Hello, welcome to the OSAT Glacier Climbing Course video lecture series. My name is Bryce Milton. Today we're going to talk about the 3-layer clothing system used to keep you warm and comfortable during your activities out in the Northwest outdoors. The 3 layers consist of a wicking base layer, an insulating mid layer, and a wind and waterproof outer layer. You can have multiple different weights of multiple versions of these layers that you would select for different outings based off of the expected range of temperatures. We're going to go ahead and talk first about the base layer. And so here's kind of here's what I might be wearing on a warm, kind of a fall day or something. So, I'm pretty warm-blooded, so I wouldn't have long johns underneath. I would have just kind of thin layer of, this is a thin soft shell pant from Marmot called the Scree pant. I find this really warm, keeps me, it wicks nicely, doesn't absorb water, works great. Underneath that I'll have just some really light poly underwear. And as a base layer, I might have kind of a long sleeve tee or a quarter zip tee like this. Again, made out of man-made materials such as poly and fleece, or natural fibers such as silk and wool. We would not have cotton natural fibers because cotton absorbs the water, tends to be a lot easier to get hypothermic with that. So we ask that you avoid that during our outings here. So it's kind of a light day, Tiger Mountain or something. Kind of the next layer up in the next warmer version of the base layer is this kind of silk weight. Again, long john this time and long sleeve tee. I'll often use this. It's got good sun resistance, and so I can wear this all day out in the sun without getting a sunburn through it. But it breathes nice, doesn't absorb water, nice and warm, but without being too warm. This one is something that I'll use when the temperatures drop, or if I'm doing it overnight. This is a Costco $20 special base layer. It's a little bit warmer. It's this time it's a quarter zip tee, quarter zip full sleeve with the pants. They're nice and warm and not absorbent, fairly light. Again, we're starting to get a little bit bulkier and a little bit heavier this time now. For the legs, I'll usually wear either kind of these light soft shells, or when the temperature drops, switch over to these Stoic pants, which I got from steepandcheap.com, I believe, on sale. These are warmer, and if there's no zip on the outside, so if the temperatures are warmer, I can build up. But the nice thing about them is they do breathe, and if I do overheat a little bit, they dry almost instantly because it doesn't really absorb anything. But yeah, usually, when the temperatures drop, I'll have these, and I'll usually try to have, it's very, very rare that I'll have more than 2 layers on the legs there, and it has to be pretty cold before I'll get into the long johns on the bottom here. This is the rain layer that I'll use on my legs here. This is an inexpensive full zip pant from Marmot, which isn't going to be the most durable material. You might not get, a ton of use, a ton of seasons out of these. I think I've had these for 2 years, and they're already probably about due to be replaced because this material just doesn't hold up as long as, say, Gore-Tex would. On the bright side, these things are much, much lighter, and because they spend a lot more time in your pack than they do on your legs on most adventures, it's when you have these soft shell pants, a little bit of rain and all that is, perfectly fine. You don't need these. So it's pretty cold or pretty wet before I'll have these on there. And so usually they're just in the pack, so I don't mind them being a little bit lighter weight. Expensive Arc'teryx Gore-Tex is going to be, very expensive and something in which is not going to be very friendly to the occasional. I feel a lot worse if I rip these with a crampon than I am the fancy Arc'teryx pants. In terms of mid layers, we got a couple of options here. So fleece is always a good one. This stuff is inexpensive. It's warm. It's not super heavy. I think these were $15, $20 pieces at Sports Authority, which I got on sale. Again, fleece is there are better options than fleece, lighter options, all of that. But again, this was really inexpensive great warmth for the weight, and really comfortable. So, especially on overnights, that's usually, I'll have these on a lot of outings as my mid layer, but I'll start bringing these along if I'm spending overnight at like 10,000 feet or something, and it's going to be colder, and I'm going to be sitting around chatting with my OSAT friends and sitting on snow a lot or something where I'm not being active, so I might have these out there. Let's see. So let's talk about the wind and water layer for the top here. So kind of the first option that I'll have in here on just a light day hike or something is I might have this in there if I'm not expecting it to be super rainy or super cold. I like this. I'll wear this as a mid layer. Sometimes it weighs nothing, breathes fairly well. I can coat this, and it does a reasonable job of shedding light rains. And again, it's super breathable and doesn't take up a lot of space. The next one up the rung from that is this Patagonia H2 nose shell. It's got a PTFE lining, which is essentially the Gore-Tex lining on the inside that's breathable and waterproof. But the Gore-Tex patent has expired, so there are multiple manufacturers of PTFE now. They applied it to a slightly more stretchy fabric than Gore-Tex usually does. And I've gotten a couple of seasons out of this. I didn't pay a lot for it. I've been real happy with it. It's got the full zips and a nice helmet-compatible hood. All the features that you might be looking for in a good waterproof, windproof shell. It's got some good pockets off of it. Great choice. And also light, because like I say, these do oftentimes spend a lot more time in the pack than on you. Sometimes it seems. Next option up here is this Go Light, and it's a soft shell, so it's not 100% waterproof for at least in the northwest sense of the word. But when you're dealing with snow, it's great. When you're dealing with wind, it's really good. It's got some warmth to it, but it's got the pit zips, so I can keep cool when I need to. Helmet compatible hood, all of that. Great mid layer or wind waterproof layer, depending upon what the kind of conditions I'm expecting there. This one here is it's wind and waterproof. It's got the Pertex lining. It's from OR. It is a synthetic puffy, which has the helmet compatible hood, doesn't have pit zips. I got it oversized so that I can pull this on over everything. And when you're huddling up on the top of the crater of Rainier, this is a great one to be able to pull out. But it's so warm that I'll pretty much only be using this on overnights, or if I'm expecting to be going on if it's or a really, really cold winter climb there or something. So it's a great option, but it's a lot, it's a more weight than you might want for everything, and too warm for me. Everyone's different, and if you're a little bit colder blooded, you might be living in something like that and have another couple of mids or something for the upper mountain. And let's go ahead and talk a little bit about gloves here. So these are I think $5 Army surplus leather gloves, which I use as my belay gloves. They work great. These vary. You can pay as much as much or as little as you want for a nice soft shell glove like this. But a nice light soft shell glove I love because they don't absorb water. They keep your fingers warm, and 90% of the time this is what I'm going to be wearing. This is my heavier system that I'll use if I'm dealing with if I'm going to be going on the upper mountain, or I'll have these in my pack sometimes as my second pair of gloves. I'll usually have two pair of gloves just in case I lose a pair. But these they are insulated, or they're not insulated. They have a removable insulation that you can take with you. They have a small liner on the inside, kind of a fleecy liner. But I can combine these with these, and I have a nice warm glove system. If you tend to be colder blooded, you might look for the mitts, but this is what I'm pulling out of my bag for to go with the big puffy when I'm on the upper mountain there. But again, 90% of the time, this is what you got. Talk a little bit about hats. So, the baseball cap is is a good one, keeps the sun out of your eyes, but it doesn't protect your neck or your ears. And of course, I find them uncomfortable to wear underneath a helmet. A lot of other people disagree. They find them fine. But I'll usually just have that if I'm not wearing the helmet. If I'm going to be wearing the helmet and it's really cold, I'll have a nice kind of stocking cap. I like a full wool one like this would be uncomfortable for me because of the scratchiness of it, but it's got a fleece liner on the inside, which I like. And this is just a straight up fleece one that's a little bit lighter weight than the wool one. These Seattle sombreros, for me, I don't get a lot of use out of it because it's got some insulation on the inside of it, and it's waterproof, so it doesn't breathe. If I'm sitting up on top of Tiger Mountain, I might bring this with me. If I'm going to be sitting in a meeting, I'm not going to be working out, and I'm just going to be, and I might be getting rained on. This is a great choice. Keeps it out of your neck and all that. But if I'm hiking along, it's usually a little bit warmer than I like. It's got some sun protection to it. It's great. But I found a lighter option, which is this neck gaiter here. And it's just a merino wool tube, really light, simple, dries instantly, doesn't absorb water, has some warmth to it, and it has a lot of options. You can wear it straight over your head just as a scarf, or you can pull it up here, and it starts protecting from the sun, your ears, your neck, all that, and you've got some good warmth there, but it's still breathable. Other options, if it's starting to get cold, is you can actually pull the bottom up like this, and you've got a nice face mask, which is also good on St. Helens, for example. One way that I often use it is I'll just kind of flip it on back like this, and that protects my neck and my ears without allowing me to overheat there. So that's a great option and fully helmet compatible and works great. Talk a little bit about socks, although we won't get into a lot of detail around feet in this video. But these Cool Max work great for me. They're really nice wicking. These Walmart wool socks are good. You can spend as much as $30 for a pair of socks or more over at REI. I found Walmart has some good options that are not cotton and wick well. This is a weird option that I've been trying this last year with some success. Its job actually is to prevent foot sweat from wetting out the inside of your boots, which on a one-day hike you don't notice it much, but on a multi-day hike, trying to put your feet into wet boots, I've actually found it nice pairing this with a really nice light wicking sock. Keeps my feet dry, keeps my boots from getting wet, and is really warm for if the temperatures are really low. So yeah, thank you for watching this, and if you have any questions, let us know. Keep climbing mountains and don't slip. Thanks.